All right, friends, take two on this mindfulness Monday. So I'll wait another second. Um, I am not receiving comments going live, which is a little frustrating, but that's okay. We're not here to chit chat per se, but hello, Marshall. Good morning. We'll get started here. I'll give it another minute. Um, so for some reason, I can't receive the comments, but that's totally fine. Hi, Julia. I got your comment on the last video. So Julia, thank you for saying good morning. Test, test. I did get that. So we're just going to run with it. But I cannot see the comments as they come in, which is a little strange for me, but no big deal. Welcome, welcome. All right, friends, we're going to roll out. Is that ludicrous? We're going to roll out. Hi, Melanie. Again, roll out our mats, 2 blocks if you have them, maybe even a stack of books if that is possible for your practice. I have a little cushion underneath my glutes here, so getting nice and cozy. I have a beautiful cork mat, so it absorbs sweat and it's supposed to not be stinky at all. And so it's odorless, so kind of gave myself that heads up to purchase a nice yoga mat. Um, cool. Hi, Cheryl. Good morning. Okay, so friends, welcome back to home, back to live, back to being in our sacred spaces and doing the yoga thing, getting some mindfulness into our Mondays. We did lose an hour this weekend, so thank you for coming on board, which feels like 7:08 a.m. here in Colorado Springs. So thank you guys. Um, Without further ado, I'm just going to roll with it, guys. This is our first kind of live back in a couple of years. And from the previous comments, I'm getting a good head thumbs up and a good heads up. Ooh, thank you for those fireworks, whoever just sent that. That was amazing. It was like 4th of July on the screen. Okay, without further ado, friends, go ahead and take a seat, get nice and cozy. I'll try to read the comments when we're done with this practice, but we're already starting a little bit late. And I want to make sure that we get everything in. So I'm on my glutes. We're going to take, friends, our 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, no big deal. But we're going to start in a wide-legged seat today. So what I want you to think about is opening up for the back chamber of the legs. We have a little bit of balance work today. And I'm a little pigeon-toed myself. So my feet are actually falling inward because it just feels really comfortable in my ankle line. So my toesies are drawing inward. And then your blocks, you can either set up like a little Lego stand, so playing with Legos here and allowing for the blocks to actually kiss the forehead. If there are no blocks at home, what I wish for you to do is open the palms, allow for the chest to fall heavy and this round to be embraced through the spine. So it's a seated wide-legged fold. And as we do enter there, friends, I want you to forget about the phone screen or computer screen, whatever you're looking at. I want you now to absorb into body. And you're probably hearing the noises around you, maybe some kiddos around or spouses around in the kitchen. I want you to try to tune inward and find a little bit of this invite of hearing breath as your own melody and music. If it does feel comfortable to take an exhale out through the mouth, go ahead and invite that. Strong inhale through the nose. Play with 2 more, friends, if you can. Exhale out the mouth. Strong inhale through the nose. Take on 1 more deep exhale. Deep inhale. Notice the body already getting calmer with just a few concentrated breaths. We're going to inhale and rise the head, rise the chest, open up the blocks to the side. If there's no blocks, just opening up hands to the side. We're going to drape them up overhead, still in our wide-legged feet position. Your right and lefts at home, friends, are going to play with those, but do your best to swerve or twist to the right side of your space. If you want to follow my body on the screen, that's okay. We'll always hit the right and left side together. So whatever's easier for brain, either to follow my body as it mirrors you or follow my cues. See if you can drop the nose closer to the knee line or thigh line. And on an inhale, big sweep up, coming back through center. Take your twist over to the opposite leg or left leg. Beautiful. Arriving through center, friends, as the arms lift, you're actually going to lift into the knees, digging into the heels of the feet. Arms are going to swing behind you and chest lifts. No cushion or cushion, no big deal, but we're going to dive into a deer pose sway. So we're going to dive into adduction for the inner and outer thighs. And at this time, if you could let them fall to the right, falling very heavy, you're going to take a twist into that right side. Don't worry if the knees don't fall flat against your mat or the ground. And then see if you can twist a little further back behind you, really getting an opening through upper rib cage. And then we'll come back through center, dive into just a few more of these sways, side to side. When you're ready, it's the opposite twist or left side, diving into that trunk rotation. And friends, I'm at the side of my mat. You're most likely at the top of the mat. If you're at the side, no big deal. We'll bring those knees together. I'm going to set my little cushion down to the side and actually walk into my front chamber of the mat space. So big toes together. We're going to let the heart melt down. Blocks or no blocks, again, those are just extra accessories. Child's pose as we begin to bring the head space down. Let the heart begin to melt heavier towards your mat. And then you might even find this little sway into the hips, almost like you're nestling deeper into your child's pose. So a little sway side to side. It's a little bit easier as my arms are lifted, as I have my palms on the medium height of my blocks at home. And eventually, friends, you're going to rise into a tabletop. So palms under the shoulders, knees underneath the hip line, long neutral spine. You might roll the toes under for an extra sole of the feet stretch. We're going to dip the navel heavy. Inhale, embrace your cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, finding your cat. And take it maybe 3 to 4 rounds between the two. And my friends moving forward on their Mindfulness Monday journey, um, I probably will not have music, friends, moving forward. I was getting a lot of flags during my COVID days of playing music, even if I had disclaimers. So moving forward, you could always set up your space and have some massage therapy music, or I love to on Spotify search for restorative yoga, but anything that allows for you to get in tuned with your yoga practice. But I'm going to see if I can play around with that. But there was a lot of alerts that I actually am still receiving. So it will be kind of silence here. It's really nice to put the earbuds in. I feel like I'm in like a little spaceship myself. And so it feels quite lovely. But do what you need to throughout your Mindfulness Monday practices. All right, friends, from here, we're going to walk the hands up the thighs. So I'm high in the knees. Toes are still rolled under, or they can become flat. And we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. So a little bit of an inner thigh squeeze. And from here, we're going to wake up the body. Big reach of arms behind you. Open the chest. Think about heart melting down, and then arms re-lifting up. Press the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. Give your body 2 more. Exhale a breath as arms reach back. Inhale as you rise. 1 more. Exhale, big reach back. Inhale as you rise, an open twist towards me. So a big open twist, right? And so I'm still keeping my knees and hips towards the front of my mat. And then arms are going to reach back up, big twist towards or away from the computer screen or TV, wherever you are watching this video. And then come back through center. We're going to bring the palms behind us, fingertips pulling down. Try to squeeze the elbows, and it's a very gentle camel. I'm still going to tuck my chin towards the throat and allow for this stretch to happen through navel, chest line, rib cage. And then returning back into downward dog, this time away from the blocks. I should say tabletop to then downward dog. So first downward dog of practice, pedal through the feet. Allow for your sight to move away from the computer screen and allow for you to find your sight between your thumbs and between your pointer finger. See if you can shake the head yes in this moment, shaking it side to side. And then friends, eventually, can you set your gaze to your toes? So this big kind of arching of tailbone up to the sky. And then walking the hands towards those feet. So you're walking towards the back of your mat. And out a very slow inhale, you're going to begin to rise, finding a mountain pose stretch. So we're anchoring into soles of the feet. Arms are going to sweep up. And think about this length, this sturdiness, kind of sprouting through soles of feet, up the calves, up the quads, kind of up through the chest, out through the palms. We'll bring hands to heart center and find a forward fold, hinging from the hips, heart melts heavy. Hands reach down towards the mat. Halfway lift, maybe hands slide up the shins as we peel those shoulder blades together. And then exhale as we lower, deep round of spine. Inhale, big rise, arms reach up, press the hips up, open chest, tall mountain again, finding perhaps a little bit of strength in this second mountain pose. We'll shine the palms forward and take a bow back into forward fold. Let the head dangle round in the spine. Halfway lift. Inhale a breath. Exhale, lower. Rise up again, greet that tall mountain pose stretch. This time, cactus the arms, friends, and give a good twist towards me. So towards our computer screen. Hello again, rise and shine. See if this twist can go a little bit deeper. And then pass through your center and take a twist towards the other side, right? Away from your computer screen, away from your TV. Come back through center, hands connect at heart. And maybe, friends, right hand comes to belly and left hand comes to heart. So right hand over the navel, left palm over the heart. Maybe close the eyes in your space. Again, noticing sounds or smells. Also noticing that you took this little mini mid-morning break for yourself. And maybe here lies an intention. We have a deeper intention later to come that might allow for you to set up your week nicely. But right now, in this moment, I want you to think about a gentle wish that you hope to provide for yourself as we dive deeper into our movement. Why did you show up for your mat today? Why choose to push play or join live and find some yoga? It could be one small sentence, it could be a paragraph, it could be a word as to what is your why behind showing up to your space. Allow for that intention to carry through as you dive into your asana practice. Inhale, arms lift back up, reaching towards that mountain. We'll take a bow and actually come to the middle of the mat, taking on that tabletop position once again. Blocks or no blocks, friends, up to you in the body. But if we are elevated, it does help with the next few movements. We'll begin to stretch the right leg long, so a three-pegged tabletop. We're going to bring the knee towards the chest. This is a tough movement, friends. Peel that right foot through between your blocks towards the top of the mat space. You might have to help it along or a big sweep. And then we're going to mobilize. We're going to pick up the back knee by rolling the toes. We're going to drop the back knee and then shift our weight back as we pick up the front toes. Does that make sense? We'll take that one more time through. Drop the front toes, lift the back knee, and repeat. Drop the back knee, lift the front toes. Beautiful. Toes redrop, back knee is strong and sturdy. Arms float up. And either a push of palms to the blocks or rooting into front quad, we rise. Not an easy pose as we lift from a low crescent lunge to full crescent lunge. Sweep the arms behind you. Inhale. Inhale, rise, and we'll take that one more time. Strong airplane. Exhale, a breath. Inhale, rise, and it's a big greeting into warrior two. Pivoting on the back heel, sink into the front thigh. Flip those palms up. Feel light as you reach for the grip, right? Opposing energies here from front to back side. Reversing our warrior as the right arm comes back. Side angle stretch as that front arm falls heavy. Beautiful. Top arm reaching up to the sky. And then maybe you find a deeper length through that bottom arm. And maybe you set the gaze up towards that top palm. And refloating back into our reverse warrior. Meanwhile, that front thigh has been bent, strong, supportive. Low lunge to the top of the mat. We're going to pivot on that back heel, drop the back knee, and come into your tabletop. We're going to open up our blocks, friends, to the side if they are with us in our practice, and explore a high plank. I really want us to dig into the upper back because we have a variation of side plank to come. You might shift forward and back. And then, friends, you can always drop the knees to feel another variation of high plank. I don't want to call it modified because it's a very good option, right? Where the knees get to drop, you're still engaging the core. Here we go, back to downward dog, pedal through the feet. We're going to set our gaze forward, tiptoe to that forward fold, and we're going to reach for blocks or fingertips, still kissing the mat. We are going to bring our left leg back. We started with the right, left leg comes back. If you were opposite, that's okay. Just switch your back lunge, and then we're going to drop the back knee, lift the front toes up, right toes up. We're going to kind of anchor through that, switch through that. And I want to make sure that I am on the right foot here. So making sure that you switched at home as well. And we're just mobilizing forward and back. Beautiful work. We are going to root into the front toes. Arms are going to reach up. We're in that low crescent moon lunge to start. We're going to roll the back toes under, big press as we rise and lift nice and tall, right? Not an easy transition, but we got it. We're going to airplane the arms behind us, open the chest, little activation through the upper back. And inhale, rise back to high lunge, and it's a push into that warrior two. So I'm either facing away from you, friends. You might be facing away from me too. That's okay. Breathe into the warrior two, now on the opposite leg. Flip those palms up, little relaxation of shoulders, and reverse warrior. We're going to send the top arm up. The back arm is sliding down towards that back leg. Side angle stretch as the top arm falls heavy. And maybe, friends, there's an expansion through that bottom arm to really lift and open up through the chest. And we're back again into that reverse warrior. Meanwhile, the front thigh has been bent, has been strong. And then low lunge to the top of the mat. Hands to blocks or to the mat space. Very good work, friends. We're going to drop the back knee, finding our tabletop. I'm going to release from my blocks, roll the toes, and embrace that second plank position. So bracing through the core, take a breath. Drop your right knee, friends. Right knee down to the mat. I'm going to open up towards you for a side plank. You might be in opposite direction, just making sure we are in that side plank. Wherever you're facing in your room, I want you to think about the planted palm to the mat. Root into the wrist, the forearm, the shoulder girdle. Good. And then take a switch, switching through your high plank. So zipping up to high plank, left knee will drop, friends. Left knee down, and that top arm up for a side plank. Think about the anchoring palm into your mat in through that shoulder girdle. Awesome. Back into a high plank just for a moment. Take an exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And then go ahead and drop to the knees, friends. Take a little bit of this mini break. I want to break with you. You could have water here, take a moment. But eventually, friends, we're going to come into a staff pose. So in a staff pose position, we are going to take an open twist. And I want to demo this for you before we actually go with the flow. And we're going to root the back palm down. I do have my big toes together, inner thighs are squeezed, and it's a rotation into side plank. So coming from that staff pose, open twist, planting the back palm to actually lift into side plank is where we're going. So lots of core strength. We are going to dive into a modified plank to then zip up into a gate pose to reach towards that extended leg. So just a little bit of highlight of what's to come. Cool? All right, friends, so water it up. We're having another seat on our mat, kind of taking our yoga up a notch a bit. So in that staff pose, friends, go ahead and bring those hands to the side body, shoulders relax, and I want you to think about cat and cow, but still in this seat. So lifting the heart in for your cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, round in the spine, finding your cat. And we'll take on two more. Inhale, opening for cow. Exhale, tucking the chin, finding your cat. And then inhale this strong posture, really big lift. Here we go. Arms reach up. Give me an open twist towards me, friends, just so we can do this first one together. Okay, open twist towards me. Your back hand floats behind your low back. Zip up through the inner thighs. It's a lift and a rotation. Yes, giggle at yourselves, friends. It's not an easy shape to find. So full side plank, root into that bottom shoulder. And then that bottom knee is going to plant to your mat. Bend that planted palm against your mat. Rise up, finding gate pose. And then allow for this side stretch into your front leg, down that extended leg. Very good work. Beautiful. Arms float up. Plant the palms under the shoulders. We're still in this kind of one knee bent, one leg extended. Find one cat and cow. And then neutralize the spine. Arms reach back up, friends. And we are going to frame the back knee. So we're back to the back of the mat. Notice how I rotated with that knee down. So my shin is now kind of coming forward towards the back of the mat. That long leg is going to grow up, activate through the back glute. And then the knee that is at the mat space, friends, it stays there. Pour the extended leg through to a low lunge. Arms reach up, crescent moon lunge. How do we do? Very good, friends. Not an easy shape. Ooh, the wind picked up in my apartment here. All right, so back to settling in. Roll the back toes, rise to that crescent. Nice. Find your airplane. Inhale, rise back through crescent, and it's going to be a star. Most likely a star shifting towards the back long edge of your mat. Beautiful. And then take a wide-legged fold. Hinge from the hips. Find a little bit of micro movement in the knees. This could be a bend, right? We want some inner thighs to stretch here. And then you are walking back to the front of the mat, the front of your mat space, friends, low lunge. The back leg's going to step up, forward fold, rise to mountain. Nice big circle around the mat and hands to heart. Beautiful. We're going to root into the right foot, friends. Root in, plant the seed. Left knee is going to grow long. It's a single leg Tadasana. So single leg here, and you are going to find a gentle tree. What I mean by that, I'm going to face you, is you're just going to land that tree where it feels good. So left sole of the foot into probably somewhere between knee and ankle, and then holding our tree pose, getting rooted in. Take a nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. One more, friends. We have one more side to explore with our mindfulness movement. We're going to plant our tree down. Arms are going to reach up. Take a fold all the way to the mat. Bend those knees, friends. Take another seat, whatever feels best. And I know even that is not easy, but it's back to that staff pose. We're starting in to that kind of twisting into side plank. This is our last opportunity around the mat. Arms are going to reach up, finding that L shape with the body. So I did open twist and face you. This time we're going to open twist away from each other, right towards the long edge, back edge of the mat. We're going to drop our hand behind the low back, zip up the inner thighs, big toes, welcoming that side plank. Remembering that it is not an easy shape at all. So we're side plank, opposite arm. Drop your bottom knee under the hip. Rise up to that gate pose, friends. And then we're going to stretch into our long leg towards the front of the mat. So we're going to feel a side opening twist or a side stretch. Awesome. Arms refloat up. Plant the palms under the shoulders. We have one cat and cow to work through the low back. And arms reach up to the sky. And then, friends, it is to the back of the mat. Back of the mat, rotate the back knee and shin facing the back of the mat. Extended back leg lifts up, activate the glute. Send that back leg through. Remember, the bottom knee has not lifted, it's stayed and anchored. Inhale, rise into our crescent lunge. Roll the back toes, big rise, big lift, and airplane the arms behind you. Good. Inhale, open up through that crescent lunge. And then a big rotation into five-pointed star, opposite long edge of your mat. Take a wide-legged fold, friends. A little bit different for this wide-legged. Take a walk to your left ankle. Both hands walking to left ankle, left toes. Pass through center. Take a walk over to the right toes, friends. Right ankle. Beautiful. And it's low lunge to the top of the mat. We're back facing the front of the mat. Beautiful work. Back foot steps up, forward fold. Let the head fall. Inhale a breath. You rise to tall mountain, arms reaching up. Big full stretch. Hands come to heart. And then, friends, we are rooting into left foot or opposite leg of our tree, right? Single leg Tadasana, as we do lift into the opposite leg to then open up low V with arms and opening into our tree pose. Remembering that foot is going to land somewhere between ankle and knee. And we get to enjoy 3 breaths in our tree pose. Shoulders relaxed. Right? Feel this shape into this asana pose, into this shape of the body. And when you're ready, coming back into single leg Tadasana, planting in our final mountain pose, big stretch, friends, maybe hips drive forward. And then exhale, take a fold, grab the crooks of the elbows, take a little bit of this side stretch, kind of finding these figure S's through the spine. And since we're getting earthbound to the mat, plant those palms, high plank position as we step the feet back. Drop the knees, lower all the way to belly, tops of the feet flat, palms under shoulders. On an inhale, lift the chest, low cobra. Exhale, drop the nose, kissing it to the mat. We'll take one more low cobra. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Lower the nose back down, friends. Anchor back into a child's pose. And we'll swing the legs to the side, coming back into another seat, grabbing for water. Very good work, friends. Started a little bit later today, about 7 past the hour, 8 past the hour, but I want to make sure we're ending in a timely manner. Doing my best to stick with 8 a.m. to 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. But as you do nestle in, friends, your nestling at home at this moment might be you laying down in Shavasana, which I actually really encourage. I'm just going to be reading something to you all. So I'm going to be kind of seated in my little Sukhasana cushion. But go ahead now, reclining back. We're almost through practice, friends, and then you can move on with your day and know that you've done something pretty powerful, even in a short amount of time. So either upright seated or, as I encourage, a Shavasana. Wherever you're at, go ahead and begin to close the eyes. This is, I knew it was going to be a short meditation today, knowing that there might have been some technical difficulties um, as we did take our practice. Uh, and so, as we nestle in, friends, this is coming from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. This is today's date, March 11th, and his quote is pretty spectacular. It's called The Benefit of the Pose. And so, as we do close the eyes, getting rid of sight, perhaps these words lie a bit differently since the ears are open and hearing is a little bit heightened because sight is now closed. So, benefit of the pose. This quote is by Iyengar, which was a big person that created Vinyasa flow in the yoga world. His quote goes as follows: as long as you do not live totally in the body, you do not live totally in thyself. I repeat, as long as you do not live totally in the body, you do not live totally in the self. So that was by BKS Iyengar, but the following words come from Mark Nepo. In studying yoga, teachers of all traditions will advise students to be still after certain positions in order to feel the benefit of the pose. This is a great practice for all of life. In countless ways, we work so hard to get there, only to bypass feeling the deep rewards of inhabiting the space we arrive in. This is especially true in how we touch each other. We are often so preoccupied with the next move, or if there will be a next move, that we seldom feel the deep rewards of simply holding each other. By treating each moment of touch as a consumption in itself, we can practice feeling eternity. And so, friends, I wanted to offer that quote and also offer Mark Nepo's words is, I love the first sentence, right? That in teachers of yoga, there's a tradition that we advise students to be still in certain positions. And we had a moment today in our little mini practice of being still in tree pose. And it's not being still to feel strength or feel this reward, but having this opportunity in that shape, such as tree pose, to see and notice what comes up. Notice frustrations, notice alignment, or just simply have the opportunity to notice. But as Mark Nepo goes on with his quote, he offers this pause, right, to be one with the moment, dive a little bit deeper within that moment. And he's communicating with us through touch. But I thought this could go a lot more other ways um, through his words. He does come into an opportunity to sit with yourself. So if you're in Shavasana still, Mark Nepo goes on to offer to sit quietly, focus on the body that you are in, breathe deeply and enter the field through your eyes, even if eyes are closed, right? Breathe so slowly and feel your soul like a pool of clear water just beneath your eyes. Breathe fully again and feel the water of your spirit wash against the shore of your body. So Mark Nepo is trying to offer us to slow down, take on a pose or shape or moment to be still. I'm going to allow you now to take on just 3 deep breaths, whether you are beginning to find a seat or still in Shavasana. Take on one more breath, friends. Beginning to slowly open the eyes here, wherever you're at, lying down or seated. And I want to come back to the title of this little mini meditation. It's called The Benefit of the Pose. And we don't mean benefit of strength, of power, right? It's a different way, different method. Benefit of the pose. Ending with Iyengar's quote, as long as you do not live totally in the body, you do not live totally in thyself. So as you continue your practices this week, trying to slow down to feel those shapes the body is making, take noticement of how the body is feeling. And it was a pleasure and honor to be with you this Monday morning, friends. I know they're short and quick, but I hope that they have brought a little bit of love into your living room or your bedroom or your basement. I'll be reading comments after this, friends. Thank you, thank you. So beginning to rise, roll the shoulders. We'll take a nice big inhale of stretch. Kind of, we call this a good morning stretch, arching through the low back. We'll roll the wrist out, lowering our hands into Anjali Mudra, taking a gentle bow to the chest line. Thank you for your spirit, your energy. Um, as always, it's such an honor and pleasure. I hope to see you again soon. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you, friends. I am off to another adventure. We're only 10 minutes past, so I think if we would start on time, we could make this a 30-minute um, 30-minute yoga party. So thank you guys. I have enjoyed you. I wish I could read your comments, but I'm going to do a little bit of play because I want to hear from you. So Sergio, Jessica, Nicole, Nikki, I've seen you all pop on. Lisa, Margot, Cheryl, Melanie, Julia, and Marshall, if you're still on. Thank you. Have a great Monday, guys. Breathe into peace, promote peace, share it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.